saying? Because she has just been like I feel
Okay,
bad.
I'll be quiet. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
You
ahead.
Wait.
good?
Okay, so Don Trail, I'll give you the opportunity to do that, man. Who are you referring to, Aaron? Are you talking about BrainWorks?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
There
yeah.
was,
Go
sorry.
ahead, BrainWorks.
I've been trying to be patient and not trying to be rude at all.
All right.
There was a couple of things I wanted to address. Okay, so at the very beginning when I first came in to the live, somebody had commented and said something about YT people or just people in general saying they don't see color. Okay, I grew up in a household where we were taught when you are talking or speaking to a person or looking at a person, you see the person within them, not what's on the outside. We never grew up looking at people's skin color. That was not something that was taught to us. So that was one of the things. And then Simon saying something about movies that are coming out based around slavery. There are some families that are very diverse, okay? And some topics people don't know how to approach with their children, young children, teens, preteen kids. They don't know how to approach those certain topics, especially when you have biracial children and you are trying to teach them. Okay, so that's just one of the other things. And then somebody in the comments, I believe his name was Sam B. Smooth. I do not believe that we should have separation when it comes to that specific topic. I don't think we should be separated at all when, especially, you're trying to teach younger kids about other races and their ancestry. I myself am redheaded, and I actually part of my ancestry comes from Northern Africa, and the red hair comes from Northern Africa, and the gene was all the snoozing people in the comments comes from Northern Africa and being pushed into European countries. That's where my red hair came from. I mean, and I get told all the time that I don't know what I'm talking about. Look it up. It's in my DNA.
It's in mine. I have family in South Africa.
I'm Heinz 57. When you look at my DNA test, it is like all over the place.
But I would say, like, sometimes we are not going to be able to understand what we don't experience, because you're not really going to, you can, like, I don't want to say people like you, but like white people, they can say we don't see color because they don't really ever experience racism or have, I'm not going to say they don't ever experience racism. I mean, racism.
I used to get picked on about my nose all the time.
Okay. So somebody in the comments saying that.
What do they make fun of your nose for? Like, what do they call it? Because they make
Wait,
fun of
hold on. So BrainWorks, like, first of all, wait, guys. So first of all, don't pay attention to the comments because.
Except for
but anyways, Ari
on the panel. She's really sweet too. She's nice.
Wait, so let me address Ari real quick. So first of all, like that's the thing, right? You say we didn't experience it. We're not walking in black people's shoes, therefore we have no say in it. And the truth is we're never going to walk in your shoes, right? And so the same thing goes for you. You've never been in white people's shoes, right? But But you guys have those conversations about white people.
But what is like
right?
white people?
But anyways, let's. I'm gonna let Dontrell talk because he's had his hand up for a very long time, and then we can get back to you, Ari. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so I'm gonna give it's not a story because it's true. I'm gonna give a chronological event that happened 2 years ago that's going to solidify what I'm saying. Okay, so civil rights icon Opal Lee had been fighting for Juneteenth to be a national holiday for years. She's 98 years old.
Yes.
And it wasn't happening. Okay. So, okay, I'm back. So what Congress did was they went to Reginald Adams and he assembled what they later called the greatest mural team of all time. I was part of that mural. And my face is on that mural. What they did was said, I need you to do a Juneteenth mural that depicts people of all races fighting for equality. And I did it. We did it. That's the one you see. That's the Time magazine cover. If you Google absolute equality, you'll find it in National Geographic and everything else. Why did I bring it up? Because this mural has YT people, black people. We say YT because we get banned for saying white. We're not being funny. YT people, black people, even a Hispanic soldier. Do you know the entire time we was painting that, it was YT people telling us I got told several times, if you finish that mural, they're gonna find you hanging in a tree. We have our lives threatened so bad for a mural that we was painting, and that's part of it right there, that depicted YT people and black people fighting for equality. We received so much hatred from YT conservatives that we had to move our studio and hide. Secondly, when we revealed the 5,000 square foot mural, which is on the spot where General Order number 3 for absolute equality was issued in Texas. Congress came, the British consulate came. They all agreed that the reason why they made it a national holiday, I'm 1/6 of the reason. That's why my face is on the mural. So when he bring up Juneteenth, I bring it personally because I'm 1/6 of the reason why you have it. So each artist has their own personal hell because we had our children's lives threatened by YT people. We had our lives threatened by YT people while telling a story of how YT people and black people work together. So when you say racism doesn't exist, at one point I had to look out the door every day with a pew like Malcolm X to make sure while we was painting this mural that I didn't end up hanging in a tree.
May I say something, please?
Sure.
I'm Rock. Okay, so I have experienced racism on both ends of the spectrum. I used to live in Washington. I was called the N-word twice in Washington. I moved to Newport, Kentucky, right across from Cincinnati, which is like the Mason-Dixon line. And the houses that I lived in were used for the Underground Railroad. So growing up, I had the black kids telling me I thought I was white, I talk white, and only white girls wore as much makeup as I did. So I've been on both ends of the spectrum. And growing up, I'm a black woman, but I have multiple races, multiracial. So my mom taught me and my sisters not to look at color, but look at the person. And I believe some people say that is wrong, but to me, it's actually not wrong because when it came down to it, the continents were all one continent, which is called Pangea, okay? This is scientifically proven that everyone came from a black man and a black woman that was originated in Africa, right? That's everyone. Even there was a test done in Brooklyn to where they swabbed people of different races, different nationalities. It came down to one man and one woman in Africa. All right. Then a guy in China also did some DNA scientific, and he said people from China come from a black man and a black woman in Africa. So for me, I don't see what the point is of racism either, because when we all die, I do believe in reincarnation. So right now, this is the body. Hold on. This is the body that I am in. I've been reincarnated as a white person, white tea person, as Asian, as a black, person, all of them, all different races. And once we leave this earth, all we are energy. We're just going to be born into another body. That body doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a black person again. You could be any other race. I think that it doesn't make sense, because when we die, nobody's going to care, right? Nobody's going to care what color you are. And so I don't see why racism started in the first place. So that's my opinion. That's just what I feel. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, right? But I think one thing that we should do is listen to other people's opinions instead of yelling at each other. I'm done. Sorry.
But I think
All right. Thank you, Rock. Sorry, go ahead, Ari.
I was just saying, when people die, they do like wonder what color they were. Like when I see people look up bones, or like, when they dig up bones, like they dug up Lucy, they were trying to figure out what color she was and where she was from. So I do think that people actually are going to care what color we were when we die. We're not going to be the last ones here. So yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, well, her thirst. What does that say? Her thirst bucket.
Her
you can talk,
thirst
bro.
bucket. Yeah. I would just like to say this, right? And this is just an analogy to look at this thing from a very simplistic way. This situation is honestly just a toxic fucking relationship. And what happens in toxic relationships is called the blame game, right? Everybody wants to blame the other person for something, right? To prove their innocence or prove how they're possibly better than the other person or whatever it might fuck be. So I'm just going to put it like this. Either you get the fuck out of the relationship, or you start to look at yourself and see what you could be possibly doing wrong on why the relationship, right, with this country, so to say, based off of race and etc., is still toxic, and what things you need to fix as an individual, right, instead of trying to point the finger at somebody else, right? Because typically most people are going to clap back at somebody that's being toxic, right? And I'm quite sure that white people, black people, all different types of people are tired of this disgusting, pathetic narrative that's being pushed in regards to race. And it's just a toxic relationship. Healing can be done. I don't deny that. Or you could just say, you know what? I fucking walk away from the situation and I'm done with it, right? These are the only two options, right? And I feel like there's a lot of people, right? Hey, Osa, you was talking about you want peace. Bro, I'm going to be honest to you. There's a lot of people, they don't want peace. They are so bitter, right? And so fucked up in their mindsets, right? They have like a very poor mindset, right? To where forgiveness, right, and understanding is never going to happen with them. They will not let their foot off of people's necks until they feel like they have been victoriously vindicated, right? And that's where my issue lies at. And when I'm looking at it, I'm like, you know what? It's childish behavior, right? I don't really see any growth coming from a lot of people. And mind you, I had a crazy experience yesterday. I'm a locksmith. I go to install locks for this young black lady's house. Her father had just recently unalived, and people vandalized her house that she inherited. And they spray painted swastikas all on the walls in the house. I have pictures of it. It really blew my mind. They spray painted the hard ER on their carpets with a PP or a wiener, so to say. And I was like really in awe, and this girl was crying. And all I could do is grab her and hug this young lady and tell her everything was going to be okay. You're going to get this house sold, and you're going to be able to move on. I'm not trying to love thy neighbor or nothing like that. It's just who can assassinate the next person worse, right? And that's what this is about on TikTok. It's very toxic on here, right? People don't want better. They want the shit to continue. And this is just proof, right? Right here of what I seen yesterday. And I mean, dead ass. This literally happened to me yesterday. Witnessing this shit. People literally spray painted on the carpet NIGGER dick on this man's house who was gone, that passed away. Right? So this is a problem here in America. A very big problem. But at the end of the day, looking at you, and I digress.
Can I say something?
Yeah. What's up?
I just really have a question for you. I really want to know why is the topic about black people being racist, as if black people were the one enslaving white people, as if black people were the one who created racism. Why is your main focus on getting black people to stop being racist instead of having this conversation with white people? And then you're talking about peace.
Especially if you say you want to help.
There is no peace. There's not going to be no peace no time soon, because you have both sides. You have the white side who is like, I'm not for it. And then you have some black people who are just like, well, we can try, but how much do you want us to try? We can try until our face turns blue. We can try until we have nothing else to give. We aren't the problem. I feel like this whole topic you have here is making black people the problem in racism when it's not. Your conversation, this whole little thing going on, needs to be with white people. I know so many black people who are openly willing to break all of this down, who want peace. I know more black people who want peace than white people who want peace. I'm not denying black people can be racist. I'm not denying it at all. But don't sit here and try to make it like black people are just always racist and they're just always, no. There's two sides to this. Black people aren't the main source. We need to go to the source. We need to start at the source.
Ma'am, I have a question, ma'am. I have a question. First, you said within what you were saying, right? I just want to point out the oxymoron, right? That came from you, right? And this is not a personal attack, ma'am. I just
Go
want you to
ahead.
understand it. First you said we black people are not the problem, right? It's the white people. Right? But then again, at the same time, you also said that you do know of black people being racist, right? So, I'm kind of confused, right?
How are you
But I'm kind of confused on how
let
you're.
me better explain. Let me better explain, because I feel like that might have took you for a loop there. Like I said, the source. We need to go to the beginning. There's cause and effect. Black people being racist is the effect to the cause. Like, I'm not understanding how I threw you for a loop there. Of course, like I said, I'm not denying there are black racists, but I'm not gonna sit here and say black people are the reason racism exists. Absolutely not. This white and I mean this with the utmost respect. You as a white man, you are on here talking about black people being racist when majority of the world is white racist. I'm like I said, I'm not denying there are black racists, but I'm not gonna sit here and say black people are the problem when it comes to racism.
Okay, hold on. Let me just address that real quick, guys. Let me just address that real quick.
I think
I
Mr. Jones
never
is in
said.
the queue, just FYI.
Oh yeah. But let me just address this real quick. So I never said that black people are enslaving people, or that they're being more racist, or that all black people are racist. I never said any of that. I'm just saying that they're capable of being racist. And you said that you know that black people can be racist, so you agree with me right off the bat. I'm not justifying any racist things that white people do. I'm not saying black people are more racist than white people. I never said any of that stuff. So just so you know.
And then it says, I don't know if it says the same thing for me. It says the live is paused. I don't know if it's just my end.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can I just talk about our capability to
because
be
if it says that too long, the live is gonna end.
So somebody, okay, this is just my last little thing.